Hello everyone. I have so much catching up to do. I'm going to paint some colors, mix some colors with week 38's colors: terracotta, sand, chocolate and stone. And these were colors I was inspired by when I was in Greece on the mainland. And I went to Mycenaean. And that was a while back. So I do apologize for the long delay in mixing colors, but it's just been a fairly busy time with me being in Hydra teaching and on art retreats. And if you've seen in a previous post, I have released my retreat dates for 2025, or my retreat date. I just have one planned in Portugal, and I'm very excited about that. You can see that we'll share that again, the post on that. You can see all the information there. So back to color mixing. Terracotta. The terracotta color that I described as terracotta is quite a warm brown caramel color. And I thought I'll try and mix it with Venetian red. But the color is quite red, so I'm looking to bring it down, bring the color a little bit, make it a bit less pink and red, and give it a little bit more depth. So for that, I'm going to include another brown. Let me see what I have in my toolbox. Quinacridone Gold Deep is a lovely brown color. It's such a useful color and just so much nicer than the Venetian red. You can just see the two colors there, how they sit side by side. And this one is just the depth. It's lively. It's just a rather beautiful color. It's translucent, but it's strong. So I'm not even going to use the Venetian red to mix this color with. I'm going to skip it. I will keep that for another day. And I want to give this one a little bit more depth, this the brown terracotta color. So I'm going to add just a teeny amount of burnt sienna, just to make it a bit more brown. So let me add that to my book. And that's a beautiful terracotta color. So that was the colors I used there. Was Quinacridone Gold Deep, plus burnt sienna, tiny amount. I'm just going to do a little exclamation there, and I'll just do that tiny amount. Sand. For the sand color, there's not very much to it. I'm going to use this Naples yellow color. And that pretty much give me the color I'm looking for. I'm going to add a tiny amount of white gouache to it, and that should dull it down ever so slightly, make it a little bit more like the color I have in my sample. So that is Naples yellow and white. Let's see how that works. Pretty spot on. So that was Naples plus white. So that's white gouache, the Horadam gouache, which I've used plenty of times before. And that's the sand color I'm trying to achieve. Then I have chocolate. So what I'm going to do is I have there just the color Van Dyke Brown, which is a beautiful, very strong brown. on my brush, I have a little bit of the quinacridone color that I had there earlier on, and I'm just blending it in. I'm not, it will just basically become dissolved in that. So it's this deep brown, but I'm going to add a small amount of Payne's grey, just a tiny amount to make it a bit deeper brown. Always remember to add the black color, so to speak, the Payne's grey being, if that was a black color, the dark color, to your light color, so that you don't do it the other way around. So with white, you typically add, you have white first and then add the color if you want to make a light color. There I've sort of did it slightly the wrong way around, but it was only a small amount of yellow. And then with here with the dark color, with the brown, chocolate brown, I had the brown mix first and then adding a bit of Payne's grey to deepen it. So that was Van Dyke Brown, which is another lovely color, favorite color of mine to use, plus Payne's grey. Okay, and then the last color I have is Stone, and it's a wonderful warm grey. So how am I going to get a warm grey? Let's spend a bit of time doing that. I have my white, starting off with the white. So that's my white gouache, Horadam Designer Gouache. It's a very fine paint. It's for all intents and purposes, this is watercolor. If watercolor made a white paint, which and sometimes you get a titanium watercolor, this would be that would fall within that criteria, because it's really fine. It's as fine as the watercolor, but the white pigment obviously makes it. It's a heavier pigment. It's a more concentrated pigment in order to get it to be white and cover, which is different from when it's a translucent color. So that's very grey. It's not warm. It's a cool grey. It's a I want to say almost like a battleship kind of grey. It looks blue. It's blue and grey. So I'm going to almost start over again by having just the white, using my same brush, but using the Van Dyke Brown that I have here and mixing that with my white with just a bit of Payne's grey on my brush. And you can see that the color is much warmer. So even though there's a bit of Payne's grey there, giving it a bit more depth, the color is like a brown color, a brown grey color, a warm brown color. So that's the color there. It looks a bit white and light, and that's because it's wet, not dried. And this one has almost a slight, depending on the screen where you see, you will probably not see it exactly like that, but it has an almost green feel to it. So in order to get that, I am adding tiny amount of the Naples yellow, because I want to warm it up a bit more. And I don't want the color to be too clean. And I'm just going to add, let's get rid of that red. I'm adding just a tiny bit more of the Payne's grey. So before I forget how I created that, so that's a lot of white plus Van Dyke Brown, and a small amount of Payne's grey, and a tiny little smidgen of Naples. Naples yellow. So I'm just saying that in brackets to indicate for myself just a tiny little bit that was added to it. And there are week 38's colours, and I will paint something quick in my sketchbook with it. So for those of you who are full subscribers, have a look at the little video of me painting something, linking it to the theme of vase in that video. Thanks for watching.